Easy. Take a walk. Okay? Let me handle this.
You better calm him down. He's a liability right now.
He's scared. Every cop in the tri-state area is banging on doors looking for
I
us.
didn't book you, Robbie. You said you wanted to get a score.
A score? Yeah. Not a pile.
Hey everybody, as soon as you come on, let me know you're here.
Where is he anyway?
Let's see. Let me turn.
Score? Yeah. Not a pile.
Hey everybody, as soon as you come on, let me know you're here. This one. Let's see. Oh, hey everybody, as soon as you come on, let me know you're here. Let's see. Red. Hey everybody, as soon as you come on, let me know you're here. Why is that repeating so much? Red. Hey everybody, as soon as you come on, let me know you're here. Why is that repeating so much? Okay, now it looks like I'm okay. I know that was weird. Oh, it's in the background, that's why. This one. Now this one, I think I want a teal one though. Nope. Oh, it's in the background, that's why. It should be in the background over and over again. I'm trying to figure out what, huh? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why I'm squealing. Still squealing there. Why I'm squealing. Oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to figure it out, guys. Give me a second. Is everybody else having audio problems too? Okay, can you hear me now? No, still doing the same thing over again. I guess I don't need to hear it. Please let me know if you can hear me. Because it says I have 4 people on. Oh, There's 3 waiting. Hold on. Why did that do that? Okay, hold on. Let me go. Stop recording. Stop recording. Close. Live. And here, tell everybody where I'm at. That's not the one I want. It's this one. Okay, let me know if you're here. I'm trying to get everything going here. I need it on here. Okay, we don't want this one. This is the one I want. Can you hear me now, Vivian? I was having sound issues, so I want to make sure. Okay, now can you see me? Is that better? Am I still frozen? Oh, good. I'm glad I'm back. Okay. If I freeze up again, I'll let me know. Okay. I'm hoping this is going to be a lot of fun tonight. This is the first time I've actually done a live with the new technology, so bear with me a little bit. I'll go back to where I was. This is the bag we're making tonight. It's called the Ellana. Okay. And I like to do my bags with 2 different colors or tweak them a little bit. You can do whatever you want. She shows it all in one color. I like to add color to my stuff. So again, feel free. I used cork on the bottom and I used vinyl on top. And I'm using cotton on the inside, but that one's not done yet. I have someplace. Yes. I have our strap, the strap that I made already, and I'm gonna do a different one with you. So this is just the one I started today to make sure I knew how to do it. And then I did the braided strap too. Okay. The trick to this, and I'll talk about it a little bit more when we get there, is actually not making it too tight. I tried making it tighter, and it really didn't look right. So I loosened it up, and that made a big difference. Anyway, so that's the one I'm working on. Tonight I'm going to be using more cork. I'm going to be using some of Mormino's cork. and some vinyl that I got from the Vinyl D-Stash group, and then some cotton for the inside. I love to use cotton on my inside. I'm also considering doing linen on the inside, but I haven't gotten that far yet. Not on these, but on a different one. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. You need, for this bag, you need to have 2 back pieces, okay? And they need to be opposites. You needed to mirror them. I'm doing one side on one color and one side on the other color. That's those are the back pieces. You need 2, hold on. This is the wrong piece. Hold on. You need 2 front pieces. Okay. You want to have again, I'm doing one of each. You can do both of them the same. I don't need that piece. You need to have your slip pocket piece for the inside. You need to have a piece that's going to meet the hi Kathy, hi Vivian, hi everybody. This is the Ellana bag by Petal and Petal Sewing Patterns, and it's really an easy make. It's a lot of fun. This one is going to go along the top pieces to add a little bit of a flare. You need to have your straps. I made my straps 4 inches wide. The pattern calls for 3 inches wide. I did that because I don't usually carry a lot of 3/4 inch hardware. So I'm going to do 1 inch hardware on mine. And then I'm using this for the braided piece, and I have 2 of these. You need 2 strap keepers, which I better have 2, or I'll have to go find the other one in a minute, because you should have 2 of these, and it might be over on my other table. And then you're going to need your piece that's going to go over the top of your slip pocket. Now, on this one, it's really weird, but I can't find that one piece. On this one, I'm only putting in the slip pocket. On the other ones I'm adding a zipper pocket on the other side. So you can always do that to almost any bag. So keep that in mind. It does not have to be, you do not necessarily have to follow the pattern precisely. You can always add or delete depending on what you're working, what you feel like your ability level is, or what you want to see in the pattern. I'm looking for my other strap connector. Just give me one quick second. If I can't find it, I'll just make another one. Yeah, I'll just have to make another one because I'm not seeing it. I'll do that when we get there. So we are starting tonight with the strap. But before we do that, I have to change my thread. I am sewing tonight on my Juki 1541. And this is not an industrial pattern. You can do it on a domestic, it's very domestic friendly. So if you have a domestic that you would prefer to use, you are absolutely fine doing that. Hi, Jessica. It is a perfect size, actually. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the actual finished size. But I really think that it's the perfect size for a gift. I think it's also going to work well in markets. And I have one coming up at the end of this month and one the first weekend of December. So I'm trying to really work on my inventory so I have enough to sell. Because I sold a lot last year, right before the expo. So let's see, is that the right color thread? No. Hold on, gotta find the right thread. I'm sure I have this color bobbin. I hope I have this color bobbin. That's not the right color bobbin. Well, we could do a different color thread. Oh, hold on. Unbelievable. Do I have another bobbin? I should have another set of bobbins down here. Oh, there we go. Okay, I have more bobbins, so let me just run one real quick. I am going to be using a blue thread. I usually try to do something a little bit that stands out with my stitching. That wasn't always the case. I used to match much more closely, but now that I'm more confident in my stitching, I do tend to get a little bit different. Sure. Yeah, Jessica, feel free to copy what I'm working on. I like the idea of doing two different types of vinyl or cork on the outside so that it looks a little bit different, and you can't necessarily tell what the pattern is when you do it that way, because it doesn't look anything like the testers, and that's fine. I mean, for me, part of what makes my bags unique is that I do them I try to do most of them different. I don't usually copy myself too often. I try to have every one an individual or a one of a kind somehow, whether it be the actual fabric or the lining or something's different, because I don't want people to have the same bag as somebody else. I like to make it different. So I think that kind of makes my bags a little bit more unique. All right, so let me thread my bobbin real quick, and then we can get going. One of a kind, I think when I advertise that, I am able to, I increase the price, number one, because people want to see one of a kind bags. And number two, they sell more. You can say that, and then people are going to be more apt to look at them come up closer and look at them, because they actually want to see how they're different. So I sell many of the same types of bags, but everyone's a little bit different. All right, let me do this real quick, and then we can get going. Unfortunately, I can't just press a button like my Janome. Exactly, they could buy it in a store, couldn't they, Anne? If I had my Janome, I could just press the button and it would do it all by themselves, but I have to keep the foot pedal on this machine, so just give me a second. Vivian, did you get your other bag done? Jessica, did you get yours finished? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Come on. Oh, needle up. Bobbin in. All right. Not yet, Vivian. I haven't finished mine yet either. I finished one of them, but not that one yet. So I gotta get on that one tomorrow. I don't think it shouldn't take you very long. Oh, yeah. No, I get that. I'm gonna have to order interfacing here soon because I'm almost out. So that's my next big order. Let's see. Rivets are in. Oh, good. What the heck happened here? Hold on. So, oh, get out of there. There we go. No, not there. There we go. Now it's working. So you guys have to keep me awake tonight. I get up so early in the morning. Evenings are tough, but I feel like when I start sewing, I'm okay. So I already put the dogs to bed, so we don't have to worry about that. They went to bed early, which means I'll probably be up early tomorrow. If not, I'm up every 10 minutes letting them in and out of the house. That's another reason why I don't get things done like I should. All right, almost. So let's see. I have 6 of these cut out, and I'm thinking, I'm trying to figure out how much to charge for them. I'm going to work on that probably sometime this weekend. I need to figure out exactly what I've got into them, and then we'll go from there. But the one I'm doing on the 29th after Thanksgiving is in Roseville, and then I'm doing one at the place we had the expo at. Oh yeah, no, I get that. I had some that were too short too. Yeah. All right, I am going to switch over cameras. Let's see if that worked. Why is that not? There we go. Awesome. Okay. All right. So you should be able to see my machine. I am going to, if I need, I have a third camera too. So if this shot doesn't work for you, let me know and I can always do a different one because I have one from behind me also. So you're going to want to take your strap piece and we're making straps. You're going to draw a line down the middle, fold your fold your long ends into the middle, put your double back tape on there first, fold your long ends into the middle, fold them together, and then clip them, and then we'll sew them together. So the first thing I'm going to do is get out my double-sided tape. I use Wawak for my double-sided tape. There's lots of different, Wizardry Stitchery has good double-sided tape. There's lots of it out there, but it's something that when it comes to straps, I use all the time. I want to say it's 5/8 inch that I'm using today. And then I lay it down the middle of my strap so that I can just meet my seams right to the middle. And that's the easiest way to do it that I've found. Lots of people put tape on the outside edges to try and keep it from out of the seam. That's great especially if you're working on a regular domestic machine. That's probably a really important thing to do. On my industrial, I don't have to worry about that. And on my Janome HD9, I don't have to worry about that either. So I don't worry about so much keeping the double-sided tape out of the seams. Everybody's a little bit different. Do what works for you. When you do press this in, and I'll show you just a second. Hold on. Get that a little bit closer to the center. You want to leave a little bit of a gap in between your two sides. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's go back over to this camera real quick. Okay, so if you see there's a gap that goes down the middle, okay, right through here, I can run my fingernail through it, okay? If you leave that gap there when you're folding your sides to the middle, it makes it lay better when you fold your strap over. So keep that in mind. It does help. And I try to also do mine, hold on a second, I'm going to move hardware real quick from the other bag so it's out of the way. I try to do both sides at the same time. It makes it a little bit faster. I'm still not great at it, but I'm getting much faster at doing it that way. I fold one side, then I go back over to the other side rather than doing two individual sides. Hold on, I want you to be able to see that. How's that? Nope. How's that? Better? Okay. All right. So I'm folding over and I'm leaving space in the middle. And then I'll come over to the other side and I'll lift it up a little bit. Leave space in the middle. About a 1/16 of an inch is all you want. Just enough so that you don't have a big lump on the side of where you're folding your strap. I'm also thinking that the next thing I'm going to do, what do you guys think about a Friday night pajama party where we all just sew and we do whatever we want, or we can do a particular bag and we can all do it together? I like that idea, but let me know what you guys think.
Yes, yeah, I sew it.
My husband says I can't stay up past 7 o'clock. Well, we'll see, because this one goes till 8:30 tonight. He's right. I do get tired because I'm up early. So I think it is a good idea, Martha. I think I'm going to do it. Probably not this week, but let's see, Friday night. Can't be next week. It might be this week, because not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, I'm heading to Oregon for a few days to take care of my granddaughter. That'll be my week in Oregon this month. So I think that's great, Jessica. Everybody brings a project they're working on and we just sew and chat. I think that's a great idea. And then I can just, if there's anything that I'm doing or anybody that's doing anything unique, we can talk about it or just chat about having a nice weekend. And that was what the one was going to be at the hotel, but I didn't get too many people. I think it's a money thing, and I totally get that because Christmas is coming. It just is not a good time. So that's why I thought maybe if we just did it virtually, it'd be a lot more fun. Because we could do it sooner. Now, if you do this and you don't feel comfortable with keeping your sides even, draw that line. It's not going to hurt anything. I just try to take a step out of it. Sometimes for things that I know I can do fairly evenly. Because it's really not going to make that much of a difference if it's not perfect, as long as your strap is even and they meet evenly. This particular vinyl is a little stiff, so, but I can't complain because I got it for like $6. I agree. I love the idea of having a sewing community, even if we're not all in the same town or same area. We can at least get together, you know, and just chat and have a good time. Vivian, I did get some of these clips we talked about. These right here. You can see them. I love them. They're magnetic. Did you know that? I had no idea until they kept catching on my scissors and my snips. And I'm like, they've got to be magnetic. And they are. So it's pretty cool. Because then if you lose them, you can probably, you can almost, no, they're not going to stick on my sewing machine for some reason. Everything else does, but that, maybe you're just not strong enough to do that. but my snips keep getting caught on them, and I'm like, okay, I know they've got to be magnetic. Good night. Oh. Okay, so I've got blue thread, and I'm getting ready to do this. This is just a regular strap. The only thing she does differently is she uses rivets instead of sewing her strap at the end, and I like that too. I've been doing that a lot more lately. Number one, I find it easier. Number two, I think it looks nicer, and it's also sturdier because you don't have to. They're not going to fall out as easily as long as they're set well. So they're stronger, and you can always use more than one rivet. I think she only puts one in. You can always do a second too. So start my strap a little bit further apart. All right, almost done. And then I sew at 1/8 of an inch all the way down, and I make sure that I'm sewing the same way, in the same direction on both sides, because otherwise your strap is going to get all wonky and start to like curl up, and you don't want that. There's nothing worse. My scissors. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Here we go. All right, put those over there and that over there. There's nothing worse than a strap that is all wonky. It's just, I won't. If I find a bag in the store and the strap doesn't look right, wouldn't use it. I agree, Pat. I think that rivets definitely dress it up. It makes it look. Yeah, blingy ones would be cool. I haven't tried that before, but I might have to look for some. Okay. This particular vinyl does not like my double-sided tape for some reason. I'll have to try a different roll of it. It's possible that it's the make that I used. I have a couple different ones, and it may just not like the one that I picked out. All right, so once you're done with this, you can set it aside. I can go through putting together this strap, or I can, wait, does anybody need to see a strap put together, or are we all good on that? I'll stitch it up real quick, but we'll gladly show you if you'd like. No? Okay. But I am going to show you the handles. Okay. Because the handles are unique. You use not string, but like a cording on the inside of them. And the first ones I didn't get very round because the cording I had was narrow. So I'm going to try putting 2 pieces of cording in on this one and see what happens, because I don't have any thicker stuff. I had some that I was using for backpacks, and that's all I had. All right, so I'll stitch this up and then put this aside. Turn that up just a bit. It's a little bit better. You are not liking this vinyl, are you? My machine is not liking this thickness of this vinyl. It's really interesting. I've never had any problem sewing vinyl on my machine. All right, hold on, guys. My tension's off because of the thickness of the vinyl. Give me a second. Yeah, it's not that, it's the vinyl. Pretty sure. Let's try one more place. And then I'm going to show you how to put the other ones. Once I get the tension set, I'll show you how to do the other pieces. And it shouldn't, I think it's just the vinyl itself. Really. This is an old person's eyes, not wanting to work. There we go. All right, let's try putting my bobbin back in. How to thread a needle. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna try my bobbin again. Ah, something's wrong with my bobbin. That's the problem. I see what it is. Okay, hold on. It's not my tension. It's my bob. I have a bobbin issue. That's weird. I have something in one of my buttonholes. I think I'm gonna have to make another one. I'm just gonna put this one off to the side, and I'll figure that out later. Where is my box of bubbles? Right here. That was weird. Let's check it to make sure it's a good bobbin. Yes. Okay, this one should work. Give me a minute. All right, try this one more time tonight. Let me make sure this fits in my bobbin. Yes. It's what happens when you buy bobbins off of Amazon. Sometimes they're not always good, but they are less expensive than buying them through a Juki dealer. All right. Here, thread it through. So how was everybody's day? Did everybody mail in ballots, or are we going to vote tomorrow? I'm not going to talk politics. I just want to make sure everybody votes. One way or the other. A hardware exchange, that would be a lot of fun, Vivian. I could work on that. of a limit should we have? Oh, very good. Where do you donate plasma at? The hospital? Out of here, quick. Oh, okay. I think that's, I can't donate anymore either because of my my different oh, my brain doesn't work tonight. The different things I have going on. I have a couple autoimmune diseases and they won't let me donate, so. Unless I'm donating for myself. Good for you, Anne. I think it's important that there's certain things that we need to do in this life if we can, and donating blood is one of them. I totally agree. Could also do a sale if you had nothing to trade. I think that would be a great idea. We could have an evening, maybe an auction. Just a fun auction. Where everybody brings their things and you, or some kind of a swap where we get on live or we get on YouTube and everybody does, shows me what they have and then we can do some kind of a trade or something. We'll figure it out. I'll think about it and then I'll post something. I dropped my snips. Sorry, guys. All right, now I'm going to put this one aside because we all know how to do a strap. So I'm going to put this one aside and I'll finish it up later. The next ones are the ones for the handle. And these are, you're going to make on the wrong side a 5/8 inch mark on each of the wrong sides. I mean, each of the long sides. So I'm going to take my ruler. I broke my ruler the other day. So I have to get a new one. And I'm going to put a 5/8 inch, use the side that's not broken, that will help, line going down each of the long sides. Hold on, let me find it. On this side and all the way down. And then I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing on the other long side. And then I'm going to make a center line. And in this one, I would say to make the 3 lines is important because you're going to want to know, you're going to be doing a couple of different things on each line. So I'm going to make this, let's see, this is 1 3/4. Yeah, I think that's right. So then you're making a center line going right down the center. And this one doesn't have to be as perfect. The 5/8 inch should be real close to being perfect. Then you're going to take your thin double-sided tape. I can find mine. Here it is. and you're going to run it down the inside of the 5/8 inch lines. So you're going to have a line of double-sided tape here and a line of double-sided tape here. And if ever you can't see what I'm showing you, let me know, because I'm still getting used to these cameras. Let's see. Let me try. That's harder to see, isn't it? Let me move to this camera and see if that's any better. Is that any better? Okay, so now I think it's a little bit better. So I'm going to put the 5/8 inch, I put the double-sided tape on the line, the side of the line that's closest to the outside edge on both sides. So I'm going to put it here. And you want to get it as close to that 5/8 inch without going over, because I'm going to fold to the line. And you don't want to be on the outside, the middle of that line. You want to be on the edge side of that line. Okay. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay. And then I'm also going to put a strip of double-sided tape down that center line too. And I'll show you in a minute what it's going to look like. Let's get all the way to the edge. Or as close to the edge as I can get. There we go. All right. So there's that one. So I'm actually putting 3 pieces of double-sided tape on this. Seems a little excessive, but that's okay. Better to have too much than not enough, in my opinion. And on this one, I'm just using my 1/4 inch double-sided tape. You can use whatever you want and whatever you have. It doesn't, I don't think the pattern says specifically. Some do, but this one I don't believe does. And even when they do, don't necessarily follow that direction. So, okay, so this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have a piece on the outside, a piece on the outside, and a piece down the center. Now I'm going to take these 2 outside edges, take off the double-sided tape, and fold the edge down to the line. This is the piece, Jessica, that thinks. This is the piece that is the handle. That's what this is one of the handles. You have 2. And it's the piece that's going to go in, that's going to be braided or twisted. Okay. Let's see if this, and on mine, because it doesn't seem to like to stay, I am going to use some of my things to hold them. So at least it will hold a little bit better, because this is important that this stays put. And I think what I'm planning on, if we don't, I don't think we're going to get finished tonight, just because I'm not a extremely fast sewist. So I'm going to be back on Wednesday, same time, same place. And I'll probably post a different, it'll be the same thing, Ellana. You can just look for it on the YouTube channel, and we will finish it up on Wednesday. If that doesn't work for you, I am going to record it, and it'll stay on the YouTube channel. It won't be edited, but I am going to record it for you guys. I'm not promising to get much editing done. I'm not real good at it, so it takes me a long time still. Plus, I'm very much a perfectionist, so that makes it harder for me. Yes, the twisted handles. Did I show you the twisted? Did you see the twisted handle, Jessica? The one that I did for the other bag. Where is it? I can show it to you again if I can find it. Yeah, it's right here. This is what we're working on right now. The twisted handle. We're making the pieces for this. And you're using two different pieces that you're going to twist together to make the handle. Now, somebody asked me, because I was having trouble finding the hardware she specifically called out for this. I have a couple of different options for you. The one I used on the first one is a new key fob that Jolie Creations came up with. And she just has them out. So I'm not sure if there's any left or not. She just put them out a couple of days ago. And it is a cool feature. And so I used those and they worked. The other option is if you have a large tassel, large tassel connector, that will work too. That's what we're going to try on this one here. And I think I'm going to end up going with silver for the hardware. I have to see what I've got because I didn't get it out before we started. So I'll pull things out and we can make a decision. I don't think I have the tassels in rainbow, which I thought would be really pretty with this, but I think silver will look good too. Okay, so once you're done with that and you have it the way you want it, and everything is taped down, you're going to take out that center piece of double-sided tape. But before you do that, get your cording. Now, as I told you, my cording is thin. It's thinner than what she calls for, but this is what I have on hand. So I'm going to try it this time with 2 pieces of this and see how it looks. I can always take it out if I don't like the way it looks, as long as I do it before I stitch it. So okay, so I'm going to take this. Yours is only 1/4 of an inch. Let me look at the ones that I have because I was looking at the ones, I was watching a video and she said that hers were smaller than what she calls for. I think hers were 1/4 of an inch also. And she used it and it worked. Yes. What do you think about those? Did you get them in the 3/4 inch? I got 3/4 and 1 inch ones from Jolie and I really like them. They're really, really cute, but I am going to try, I did try it and it worked well. As you can see, it worked just fine. Let's see, I'm still trying to figure out the cameras. Sorry. Oh, this camera here. So you can see these are her new key fob for the tassels. No, key fobs. Yes, these are the new key fobs. They're closed on the other side. They're not the crimp kind, and you use screws to attach them. They're pretty cool. And I got them in black and I want to say bronze and rainbow. But I think I'm going to order some more too because I really like them. And I think they'll sell well at a market or a craft fair. So when I'll make up some key fobs for teachers and stuff like that. I think they'll sell well. So, okay, so that's one piece. Let's add another piece right next to it, and I'll show you what I did. I don't think the prices were too bad either. I think that the Jolie Creations prices were pretty fair. All right, so this is what I did. Now, I left my string long because it just, to me, it's a little bit easier. But I have I have put the string down the center, and I put 2. So let's see what it looks like. I'm gonna fold it over, and then I would sew. And yeah, see, it gives me a thicker round area about there. So I think that'll work. So I'm just gonna take and put this in there, and then I'll stitch it. And you stitch it at 1/8 of an inch. And that gives you one of your 2 pieces. Gunmetal, I love gunmetal. For my own person, I bought the gunmetal, I bought the bronze, and I bought the rainbow. I did not buy nickel, I don't think, but I'm going to. Yeah, gunmetal is my #1 go-to lately too. But to me, silver just works better with certain things. And I'm doing a brown bag later of this one, and I think the bronze will look better with that. So I carry those. I've tried gold. I put gold on another one that I just did, and I love the gold with the fabric that I used, but I don't like the fact that they all are different kinds of gold. So yeah, kids love rainbow. There's no doubt about that. Move this, and I'll stitch this up real quick, and then we can see how it looks. Okay, get you edge. Yeah, it was definitely the bobbin and not the vinyl. That's good to know. Yeah. And the bad part is it's so hard to, you can't find any place. I mean, Tandy has every color nowadays, but they don't always have everything that you need. And Tandy isn't necessarily close to everybody. I always had Joann's in a pinch, but now I have to order. So certain things I'll get off of Amazon, but like I don't like to order my zipper tape unless I have to off of Amazon, because sometimes it just isn't good. But hardware sometimes isn't so bad. Not knocking Amazon, there. Always my go-to for lots and lots of stuff. I did just buy a rivet removal tool the other day. It just came today, so now I can fix another purse that I just finished. That I put the buckle in backwards. So I'll have to fix that tomorrow. Okay. So this is what it looks like, and I'm happy with the 2 pieces. I'm glad I went with 2. Okay. I'm going to trim off these pieces of extra pieces of string, and you can see now there's a much bigger bump in this, which is what you want, because when you get the bigger bump, it makes it a little bit easier to twist, I think, and give you the good braid. Or the wrap, or whatever you want to call it. So we'll see if it makes a difference. Now I got to do the same thing to the other one. Hold on a second. And guess what I found in one of my bags after I got home from class the other day? Alcohol wipes. Sorry. I knew I had some. I just couldn't find them on Sunday. They were in a bag I didn't even think to look in. Okay, mark my lines again. And then I got to get up and get my tassel holders. In just a minute. Yes, Linda, I will show you what I'm sewing. This is the bag, the outside of the bag. I'm not quite done with it yet. So it's called the Ellana by Petal. And the inside is a basic inside. It's a drop-in lining. It's going to have, let me click to this camera. It'll be easier to see because of the light. I'm sorry, my lighting behind me is terrible. It's going to have just a drop-in lining. And then the lining is going to have, this one's just going to have a slip pocket in it. Some of them I am going to put a slip pocket and a zipper pocket on the inside. But I should be able to finish it up in an hour tomorrow because it's really easy. That part's really easy to do. Boxed corners, or you make the corners the exact same way on the inside that you do on the outside. And then you just drop it in and stitch it together. So it was funny because I had never done a drop-in lining. And then I did one a while back and I had trouble with it. And I think it was just the pattern because now I've done another one and I absolutely love it. It's so much easier than turning it, especially with my arthritis, just turning anything. Which rivet removal did I get? Let me look because I don't remember. I just got it. It is snap fastener replacement rivet tool, and it's this. They actually give you a pair of metal clippers, so they give you that, but then they also give you the rivet tool itself and the thing that you put over the rivet to hold on to it. So you get this, and then you set it over your rivet. You find the size of your rivet, you put it over your rivet, you put this on top, you hammer it, and it holds onto it. I'll show you before we go off today how it works, because I got to take the rivets out and redo it. So I'll redo it tomorrow, but I can take the rivets out tonight. It was like $9, something like that. It was really cheap. Yes, I love the zip pocket in the other pattern. And I may do that with, I have to do one that's just like the pattern so I can see this complete sizing before I decide if I'm going to do the slip pocket, zipper pocket, because I love that. We just made the, what was it called? Let me think here. What was the name of that one that we just made, guys? I don't know. My brain's not working. It was by... Who was it by? No, you are so welcome. We're just doing the handle, Jamie. You are great. I am had a little technical problems getting started, and we are just we finished or put the strap. We talked about the strap, and I started to make it, and I got it ready to sew up tomorrow, and I'm making the handle right now. I'm putting the double back tape on the second side. It was by Aura Rosa, and it was the Celeste. That's right. Thank you. And it has a very unique way of making a zipper pocket. I'm going to switch over to my camera here. A zipper pocket that also has a slip pocket behind the zipper pocket. It was really cool. So I'm going to probably do that in one of these, but I need to make sure while I'm making this one that I have enough room to do that. Is it anyone? Let me see the pieces being sewn. Yes, I'm just a second. I switched over my camera. Can you see now? Linda, can you see the right one with the machine? Yeah, I switched over the camera. Thank you. All right, so now I'm going to, I forgot I had to switch the camera over. Okay, perfect. This view is absolutely fine for me. Yeah, always tell me which one you like the best, and if you need to see something differently, I will fix it. I will show you, I will change the camera view. It's not hard for me to do. It's a pretty cool setup. I'm glad I figured it out, but I'm not the techiest person in the world, so. My husband said technology is not my friend, but I think I've gotten better at it as I've aged, so. We kind of have to, don't we? Okay. So I'm putting the third line of double back tape down the center. And now I'm going to fold my ends in, my long ends in, and then I'll put the string or the cording in. So, and the reason you want cording on this is because it makes it, it puffs out the end so that you can actually, when you braid it, it's not just flat pieces. And I think that's part of what I was having trouble with before is my pieces were quite flat. And so they weren't, it wasn't like they were rolling. Okay, have fun at your game, Jessica. Yes, the replay will be on. And we'll be back probably Wednesday night to finish up too. Have a good one, guys. Good luck at the game. So yeah, I noticed that I only used one piece of cording earlier, and she only calls for one piece, but she calls for a thicker cording than I had. So that's why I did two, and I like the way it looks. So I'm going to do two this time too. And see if it makes a difference when I'm braiding it. Or rolling it, or twisting it, or whatever she says. Okay, that stayed on good. Basically. One more side. And then I'll put on the string and stitch it up. So what's everybody doing for Thanksgiving? My husband wants me to order a turkey dinner for 10 people, and it's just the two of us. I worry about him sometimes. Now I'm putting on 2 pieces of cording, I'm right next to each other. Oh, very nice. That's cool. Very nice. How do you make the pies gluten-free? I can see making the turkeys without a lot of problems, but the pies too? Okay. Now I'm going to put it together, pin it, clip it, and then I will stitch it up. Let's see, something I did. No. Trying to get a better light here. Is that a little bit better? We're having issues with our lights in where my machines are. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights trying to almond flour crust. Okay, cool. Cooking a turkey here. Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's what I miss because our family is all away. We have one son in Southern California. We have a daughter in Philadelphia. We have a son, my son, or our son is in Oregon, the one that we go visit, and I go see every month, and my husband goes on Christmas and when he can. And then we have another daughter in Ohio. So we're all so spread out. His parents are here. We'll probably go have dinner with them or invite them over here. But that hasn't been decided yet. What we're going to do in that respect. But other than that, it's a lonely, holidays are lonely at this point. So yeah, really. That's awesome. I just assumed baking or cookies don't taste nearly as good if they don't have gluten in them, but that's awesome. I might have to try that out one of these days. Okay. Stitch this one up. I'll pull out the hardware and I will show you how to put this together. Oh yeah, that's better. Wow. Oh, very nice. That's very cool. Really? I didn't know there was a gluten-free bakery in Sacramento. That's cool. I'm picking up clips forever tonight, I think. At least the dogs aren't up. Oh no, Vivian. Well, we haven't gotten a lot done. We're working on the second piece to the handle, and then I'm going to show you how to put it together. I have got to order some more glue, but I found out tonight that Loctite works for glue too, for vinyl too, so it'll be fine. Because that's all I have right now is Loctite. I've got to order some more glue. An open house would be cool. Yeah, clips. The nice part about these clips I find is they're easier for me to see than the plastic ones. I do lose them out of my hands a little bit more easily because they are a little bit smaller, but they're easier for me to see on the floor because my floor is a white vinyl plank, and the other ones that had the clear sides and stuff, I'd lose them forever, and then the dogs would find them, and I have dogs that like to chew on anything that I drop. So I have to be really careful that they don't get a hold of them. So I will be doing clip pickup before I go to bed tonight. Okay, so now that I've got that done, I'm just trimming off the extra edges and the extra cording. And I'm going to get out on this one, I'm going to use the tassel. So give me a second, let me get it. The tassel pulls. Okay, so do I have them in silver? Yes, I do. Perfect. I need two though. Do I have two? No. Yes, I do. Okay. They're different though. It's okay. I need one this way and one out of... No, I'm going to use that to make it work. Oh, these don't have... Oh, no, they do. Okay. Okay, I'm going to use those. Either that or I use gunmetal. Nope. Okay, so this is what I'm using. I need 2 screws. I don't want to lose that one. So. Okay, so I have 2 screws, one for each one. We put the rest of them back. All right. So you put these away, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so you need something for each end. Okay, I'm hoping that these work. These are I need to measure them and let you know, baby, because I know you said you only had, yeah, these are 1/2 inch, so these should be fine. I can look at before we get done tonight, and I'll tell you where I got those at, because I think it might have been Amazon. Oh, I got an extra. I've got an extra. I don't want to put it in there. I'll lose it. Put it in there. All right, so I have someplace in here, and then I have, there's my Loctite. Okay, so I'm going to take my Loctite, and I'm going to put a drop or 2 on the inside of each of these. Now, what I'm going to do, these are zipper pulls, as you can see. They have a zipper pull on the outside. I'm just going to remove the zipper pull part, and when we're done, I will attach a swivel hook to it. So I'll do that in a little while. I may not be able to get that done tonight, but I will get it done. I need the Loctite. I'm put a couple drops of Loctite in now. When you're using Loctite or any kind of glue, I never thought about this before, but they said don't slide your vinyl, like on the ones that you're using, if you're using the end tabs for your straps, if you put the Loctite or the glue on the inside, if you slide your strap through that, it's just going to push all the glue out. So you want to push down only. So I'll put a couple drops just around the outside edge, being careful not to get it in the hole yet. And then I'm going to take, before I do that, I need to do something real quick. And this is important. You want to take these two pieces. Okay. No, you can't see there. Hold on. This is not a great, try to get a better lighting. Hold on. Because that's not going to work very well. Let me try something. Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to figure something out here to give you guys better lighting down there. Is that any better? If not, maybe I can do this. How's that? Is that a little bit better? Oh, really? Oh, no. That's terrible. Yeah, you have to have those little rubber things on the clips. That's absolutely true. Before you put this in your little tassel thing or whatever you end up using, you want to take them and you want to lay them down so they are matching. So your outside where you've sewn are matching and laying on top of each other, so that the threading or the cording is on the outside. You don't want them laying like this. You want them actually on top of each other. This may be the only part that is not going to be easy for a domestic machine, depending on what type of a vinyl or fabric that you end up using for your handle, because they want you to sew at 1/8 of an inch just so that they don't come apart. Okay, so you're going to just stitch across a couple times. And on my machine, I'm good. But and my HD9 would probably be fine, but I could see where that would be tough. And I just said my machine would be good, and it gave me a hassle. Hold on, I'm having another tension issue. Where are you caught at? Oh, never mind. I know where you're caught at. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let's go back over here. I moved the thread so I could move the light, and that caught my thread. Okay, so I'm going to put them back in, and I'm going to try again. 1/8 of an inch. There we go. That should work. My needle real quick. There we go. Okay. Now, put them back on top of each other and making sure that they're facing in opposite directions. And you want to go at 1/8 of an inch. Or 1/4 of an inch, I believe she said. There we go. Okay, now we have them stitched. Okay, now, depending on the size of thing you have, you might have to really play with them. The 3/4 inch ones, I'm using a 1541, a Juki 1541S, and I love my machine. It needs a little bit of TLC right now. I'm getting it in to have it just checked, because I'm having a little bit of tension issues, but I've had it for 3 years now, and it gets used every single day. So, but I love my machine. I had considered the 1141, but The reason I didn't stick with the 1140, go for the 1141 was because I knew I was going to end up using leather, and I also wanted to be able to use cotton. Now, everybody says you can't use cotton without screwing up your tension on the 1541. 1541. I use cotton all the time. I sew cotton on this machine all the time, and it's not a problem. I do interface all my cotton now. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to put a little bit more glue in here since it probably already dried, because Loctite dries fast. Okay, and then I'm going to munch this together and fit it in. And I'm going to have to squeeze it because I know my straps are thick. So I may end up playing with it a little bit, and yeah, I'm going to end up having to trim that a little bit. Let me see. I think what I'm going to do is trim it just a bit on the corners so that it kind of looks like a little bit of an arrow. Okay, and then let's see if, because my hands aren't as strong as they used to be. And then let's see if I can twist it in there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's going. I just got to twist and keep twisting until I can get it to go in all the way. There's a, keep going. There was another video using this same type of tassel. Let's see, what do I have? Maybe I can use my ink steps. Nope. It is as tight as it's gonna get. Okay, so it's gonna be fine because I just checked it and it's not going anywhere. That Loctite has it in there really firm. And then I'm going to also put in a drop of Loctite in the screw hole before I put in the screw. I know I have it. There it is. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. Grab my little screwdriver. Okay, and then I do this. You have a 1541 also? Have you had any problems, Pam, with the cotton? Because so many people tell me, oh, you can't sew cotton on a 1541. I do all the time. And yeah, it's interfaced, but I would interface all my cotton anyway. Okay, so there you go. That's the first step. Okay, so now, the next thing you're going to do, let me see if I can move this over here so you guys can see. I was trying to figure out how to hold this today rather than try to hold it with one hand and twist it at the same time. And I kind of decided that my zipper jig, which I have right here, I'm going to put right here so hopefully you guys can see it. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay. And I'll raise it up in a second. Worked well to hold it. Even the other one that I was using. Oh, come on. Really? Oh, hold on a second. It got tight all of a sudden. For some reason. There we go. Okay. Oh, I think I pressed it too close in. That's why. Okay, so here's my zipper jig. Let me tighten that up so it doesn't slip. And then because this one is a zipper pull, this will work perfectly. I can put that in there like that, and I can put it in a different way. It'll be easier. Put it in the other way. I think Actually, no, I can't. I gotta put it in that way because I want to be able to twist it up top. Okay, so the zipper jig will hold it. So what you're going to do, what I found was the easiest, is you're going to be doing one side first, then the next side. So I'm going to put one side over, and then I'm going to take the next side and put it over. Kind of like if you were braiding. And then I'm going to put the next side over, but you're only braiding with two things. Actually, I think under might work better. And I played with this a little bit today, but again, you don't want it tight. The tighter I made it, the more difficult it was to get it to do what I wanted it to do. Oh, and I think if you start going over, you want to stay going over. That was what the problem was. Okay, so let's see. I went under and over, and I'm going to go under and over. Come on, get up there. Well, I broke it. That's good because I was going to take that off anyway. Under and over. And you want to just keep going. Under and over, just like you would if you were braiding. Under and over. Under and over. Under and over. And make sure it looks the way you want it to look. If it doesn't, keep playing with it, okay? The goal is to find is to get a braid that you're happy with, okay? And then I'm not going to do this because we need to move on. But yes, exactly. You can definitely fill a bobbin at the same time you're sewing. I think that's amazing. The goal is to find a braid that you're happy with. I'll probably play with this for 2 or 3 times before I get happy with it. But that's what you're going to do. And I will show you on Wednesday what the final outcome is going to look like. Because I haven't played with this one yet, obviously, because I just put it together. All right. But this was what how the black one turned out earlier today. And I'm happy with that for first school. When I get it set to put it on the purse, it should lay pretty well. And I'll play with it a little bit more if I have to, but I'm happy with this one, so I'm not going to mess with that one too much. All right, I'm going to move on to the bag now. The bag, we're going to do the outside and then see where we're at. Let's see. Let's start and get rid of all this trash first. All right. Move my scissors. Oh, there goes another clip. Okay. So now for the outside of the bag, all you need is the pieces and then a zipper and a zipper pull. And all the measurements are in the pattern. So you can look them up when you get the pattern. But it's the zipper pull. It's not an extremely long zipper pull or an extremely long zipper. So just check the pattern for the length. All right. So I'm going to take first of all. I'm going to take the top piece to the outside front. And I am going to, hold on a second, I'll put this where it belongs so I don't lose it. In there. And I'm going to lay double-sided tape down along the curved end. I was wondering if you really needed to do that. And yeah, you do, because you want to actually hold it up. You could theoretically clip it, and then put it on, but it's going to be easier to do it with the double-sided tape. So it says measure 3/8 of an inch up. You should, if you laid your interfacing, not your interfacing, your stabilizer correctly, you should have pretty much a 3/8 of an inch measurement. But my stabilizer is not perfectly cut because I don't like to cut my pattern pieces. So I don't have to reprint them a second time. So I just trim off my pieces that I need. And so now I'm going to mark 3/8 of an inch so that I know where to lay my tape. Approximately. And most of it's pretty easy to get that 3/8 of an inch too. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to lay 3/8 of an inch, and they want it on the outside of that line. So it's not on the inside of the line. It's on the outside of the line because you're gonna fold up to that line. And then I like to, even though she says you can, but you don't have to. I like to put little clips, little snips in that so it lays well. Oh, there they are. So I'm going to snip not all the way around, just at the main part of the curve down here. That's where I'm going to put most of my snips. Because most of it is pretty straight, but that curve part could lay funky when you go to twist, when you go to put it in. And now that's all I need. And then I'm going to take off my tape and fold it in. And I want to fold to that line, as close to it as you want. You want it as even as possible. Because this part is not getting put into a seam. It's getting sewn directly on. And so you want it to look really nice. I'm thinking I didn't measure that right. Okay, and then I am not going to stitch this yet. I'm going to keep it off to the side. After I get this all turned. And then I'm going to get my two front pieces that I have that I'm going to stitch together. Now, because I want my bag to look kind of like not a mismatch, but I want the pieces to be offset. So I want the More Me No fabric on one side and of the front, and on the opposite side of the back. I want to make sure that I have the right pieces, and I want to check that very carefully. But that's me. I mean, not everybody's going to do that. If you're looking at it, I want the front left to be one and the back right to be the matching one. Does that make sense? Okay, so there's that for now. I've got a couple that just don't want to stay put. So I'm putting some clips on them. Okay, that'll be fine for now. So now I'm going to take my pieces and I'm going to look to make sure I got this right. Okay, so that's the back and that's the same piece. Okay, I have others. I think I cut 2 out of this fabric for that reason. There we go. That's the one I want for the back. It's not the one I want for the front. Now, that's the back, which means right now my front and backs should match so that when I turn them around, they'll be opposite. So yes, that's what I want. Okay, those are the ones that I want. All right. Does that make sense? I want them to be opposite right now because if I don't, when I put them on, they're going to, I want them to be the same now so that when they're, the front and the back are put together, they'll be opposite. If it doesn't make sense, let me know and I'll show you again. Okay, so now I'm doing a 3/8 inch seam, right sides together. Okay, and then I'm going to split that seam. Why am I having trouble all of a sudden? Okay, so I'm going to split that seam and I'm going to sew, I'm going to top stitch on each side of that seam to hold it down. So when I'm going to split it this way, I'm going to butterfly that seam and then I'm going to top stitch on each side. I'll show you when it's done. So I'll show you front and back when it's done. You know what? One thing I think somebody needs to be able to design, maybe for a 3D printer. And I'm going to talk to my husband and see if he can do it. Something to attach to your sewing table to hold your threads, so that I have both my hands. All right, so if you can see it, I've top stitched down each side and the seam is butterflied opened. Okay, that's that part of the front. Now I'm going to take the piece we just finished and I'm going to add a piece of double-sided tape right in here. And let me check to make sure that measurement real quick. I think it's 3/8 of an inch, but I could be wrong. Okay. Yes, 3/8 of an inch. Okay, and she wants you to measure that before you do anything with it. So I am going to measure that in so that and give myself some marks. And she recommends using something that's erasable, and I do too, because you don't want to see it. I'm going to use my chalk pen. And because it's... oh, that's a great idea. I never thought about that. I like that idea, Charmaine. Come here. Gummy tape to hold down your threads would be a great idea. I never thought about that. Okay. Almost done. And then you're going to put some double-sided tape. And the reason you want to measure that 3/8 of an inch is because you want to actually lay it up to that. I am going to lay it just this side of that because I think I was supposed to turn it farther than I did. So I want to make sure I'm taking and getting a good seam that will work. So I am actually going to use this. That's half inch. I think that's not going to work. Okay, so I'm going to lay my tape right there on this side of that line. My tape. Okay, almost done. There we go. And then I'm going to lay this on top and top stitch it. And that's the only stitching this is going to have. So that's why it's really important that your turn was good on that. So that your turn under was good. Because this is the only stitching this piece is going to have. I think I'm going to do 2 rows of stitching. Hopefully that won't, I won't live to regret that, but I think I'm going to try. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Okay. And she does tell you to mark the center first, but I found you can mark the center if you want, but you're tucking it under, so to me it doesn't make that much sense. So I'm just using the edges as a guide, and I think that works just fine. And you'll see that mine lays perfectly, so it worked out perfect. So the blade off the holder. What does that mean, Jamie? You took the blade off the holder and it works like a charm. That's true. That's absolutely true. The thread position does change. Okay. Pam, I'm talking about these threads here that you know how you have to hold your thread so that it doesn't go under and start a nest. Those are the threads I'm talking about. So I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch, and then I'm also going to do 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to take it slow because I don't want to. It onto these screws? Really? Oh, you can hook it up there and it works? Huh. Needle down. I have a piece that's coming out. That was what I was afraid might happen. had one end that was really, really just barely holding on. Okay, I think I got it. That'll be in the same one. What about that one? Yep, got it. Okay, now I'm going to go back and do a 1/4 inch. Y'all have to look at that. Because I like that idea a lot. Okay, and now I'm going to do a 1/4 inch real quick. And I think the extra added line will make it look pretty too. As long as I can keep my lines looking nice. So it'll either look really good or I'll regret it. Right, so far so good. Not too bad. I'll take it. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I've got 2 rows, and then you've got your front panel. That one's done to the point of for that part. Now I'm going to take my darts, and I'm going to close them right sides together and close them up. And I found she gives you a measurement to start with. It's a 3/8 inch seam, and then you're supposed to go down to a 1/4 inch. I did that, but I overshot where you were supposed to stop, because you're supposed to stop at the end of the dart. I think if you place a mark above that and go off to a 1/4 inch, you're going to get a better dart anyway. So what I ended up doing was measuring 2 1/4 inches from the bottom. Where are we? Nope, 2 1/4, not 1 1/4. And I put a mark there. And then what I'm going to do is when I get to that mark, I will be done sewing my line. And I actually want it on the other side because of where I'm sewing it. Okay, so I'm going to start at 3/8 inch at the bottom, because she wants you to narrow your seam as you get closer, but she wants you to start at 3/8 inch. So I'm going to start at 3/8 inch at the bottom, and I'm going to gradually go into a 1/4 inch by the time I get to my mark, which I did. Okay, and the thread is having nothing but trouble today. I think my machine is crying for me to have somebody out. So I've got I've taken the dart in, and then I'm going to trim that edge just a little bit. She says trim it in half. So I'm going to trim it. And then when you poke it out, it looks really nice. Okay, you've got a nice dart there. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And I'm going to measure, this is the side I want. 2.5 inches, 2 1/4 inches, 2 1/4 inches, sorry. And that's me, that's my choice. You can do whatever you want to, but I think it's really important that your darts be the same size. So you need to give yourself some kind of a mark there if you're not used to putting darts in. If you make clothes, you're used to doing darts. I am not a clothes maker. I made my cat a cat house for outside yesterday. That was something. It works. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it is perfect. It will work. And I think I went a little bit high on this one, so I'm going to go another stitch or two on the other side if I need to. But I'll check it first. Okay. See here. Nope, they look good. Okay, so there's your front panel. Okay, now I'm going to make the back panel doing the exact same thing, except I'm not doing the top. I'm just sewing the two sides, butterflying them, and doing the darts. What time is it? It's 6:30. Oh, I'm good. Okay. So now I have my two back panel pieces. I'm going to put them together, and if I did this right, they should be opposite. Thinking that's right. Yeah, the darts aren't hard, Martha, but I do believe that if you put that mark there for yourself, it makes it a lot easier. And I like the look of a dart in the bag. I really do. Still short. My back panel must not cut very well because it's off by about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to trim it. I must have not been very careful when I was trimming it. No. This is why I make bags and not clothing. It's not a perfect science. Do my darts. Mark them first. Inches. This is what I'm talking about, my threads. My fingers don't always work right because of my arthritis. So. And then this one. And you can always go back and adjust your darts another stitch or two if you have to. If they don't look totally the way you want them to, just don't go crazy. Trim them down and pop them out to make sure that they look right. Then this one on the other side. Okay, so and get in there. There's my back. Now, if I did this right now they're on the same side, but when I put the bag together, they're going to be on opposite sides. Oop, hold on. On opposite sides, okay? which is what I wanted. Okay, so now, oh, I forgot to butterfly my seam. Let me do that real quick. I can still do that without any problems. Good thing I caught that. Because if I put on the zipper, that would be a problem. And I believe the zipper is next. And then we stitch it together after we get the zipper ready. I will check the instructions though, just to make sure. What is going on? Hold on. I think it's my bobbin is actually acting weird. Hold on, ladies. There we go. Either that or I didn't get my thread held very well. That's possible. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that's a great idea. I never thought about that. Good tip, Charmaine. Thank you. Did you used to sew clothes? Or do you sew clothes still? Because I know darts are used a lot more in clothing than they are in bag making. But I like that tip. I think it's almost time for a new needle too. Make sure I do that tomorrow. And the other side. You are okay. That makes a lot more sense. I like that tip, and that's a tip that a garment sewist would know that definitely. Oh, very nice. I'm glad you discovered bags through this. And I have a skinny foot on my industrial, which is perfect to go down seams because to do my top stitching, because it fits right into the seam on these. So my seams are almost always, unless I'm not really paying attention at all, are almost always great. So I love that. And oh, that one didn't butterfly. So double back tape, here we come. Either that, or I could do a double back tape. Yeah. Tape it down and it'll be fine. Because this is on the cork, so it should be, no, this is on that other stuff. Well, if that doesn't work, I'll figure it out. I might end up using duct tape on it if this comes up. Yep, I wasn't paying attention and I didn't get that seam down, and I will ruin the vinyl if I take the whole thing up, so. It'll be fine. That's a tip too. Use tape when needed. Okay, so now I believe we're going to be moving on to the we're going to be moving on to the zipper, I believe. Let me check. Keep dropping things. Okay. That's done, that's done, that's done. Yes, the zipper. Okay, so let's see. What color zipper do I want? I'm using silver. Give me a second, guys. I gotta find my silver zippers. Let's see what color I have. Oh, that would be pretty. I actually have some down. What do you think? Metallic silver? I actually like that a lot. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Do I have a silver zipper pull down? Yes, I do. Oh, I don't like those. Oh, those are pretty. This one will work. Yes. Yeah, I don't like that either. Okay. Yeah, I like the metallic too. I think it's going to look really pretty. And I'm only going to use one zipper pull on this bag instead of two because I'm not doing a zipper pouch on this one yet. Maybe on the next one. And it is, oh, how much? 14 and a half. Okay, so now we're going to do a 90-degree zipper end. I've got to cut my zipper tape first. And don't forget to melt your zipper ends because they do fray. Now, I've been watching a lot of different videos for different people lately. Some people say it's okay to snip into your zipper tape. It is not. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but if you do, you are risking that tape fraying. So be very careful. I always, because if you notice, I just trimmed this and it's already fraying. It will do that. Keep in mind that metallic will burn like that, but it still melts, so you gotta be careful. You want to do that because otherwise it will fray, and you don't want a frayed zipper tape. I just bought some more of those. Now she wants you to mark down a ways, an inch on your tape. And I don't use erasable. I just mark in the seam allowance on this. So that's just me. I use erasable on the outside of my bags, or I use chalk depending on what the bag is, depending on what the fabric is. But if it's on the inside, I'll leave a mark, or if it's on the zipper tape, I just put it in the seam allowance because you're going to be cutting. You're going to be doing that anyway. When do you decide to make zipper tape ends versus installing this fancy metal? Good question, Charmaine. I almost always use zipper ends now. I hate, unless I'm making like a pouch where you're going to not have a tail. If you're going to have a tail, I always use zipper ends. If you're going to, if it's going to be encased, like Jamie was saying, if you're going to encase the right edges into the bag and you're going to sew that part, then you need zipper edge. You know, like the what am I trying to say? I can't. I'm sorry. I'm tired. You know, you want to make them out of fabric, but Charmaine, the tape ends you always want to melt no matter what, because even if they're encased, you want to melt them, because otherwise they can still fray, and they could fray all the way down. So I would always melt my zipper ends. And I have gotten to the point when I'm making my 90-degree zipper ends, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Maybe if my machine decides it wants to work. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's try that again. you're going to take your zipper end, and on that line, I'm going to pinch it, and then I'm going to fold the rest of it underneath, and then I'm going to use my hemostats. You can melt this so that it'll stay together. I like to put a stitch in it because I have found that melting my zipper tape is not a precise science and it doesn't always work for me. So I use my hemostats to get it underneath my zipper foot, and I will put a couple stitches in about an 1/8 inch in. It won't show, but it'll hold your 90-degree angle. I'll show you in just 1 second. Never used those hemostats very often until recently, but you can see, whoop, can you see it now? See where I've got my 90-degree angle there? Now the key is to make sure they're even. So that's why she had you mark it, because you want to make sure that you're bending on the same line, on the line on the other side, and then holding it. And that's where those hemostats come in very, very handy. You can hold it and you can make sure that they're even. And if they're not, you can fix it before you stitch it. This side's a little bit easier because of where the zipper is to get under your foot and hold it there. You can also use your stiletto to hold it there. Okay? And once it's stitched down, it's not going anywhere. You're still not going to apply your zipper on yet. You're not going to put your zipper pull on yet. Now, she wants you to mark on the end, depending on which side you're going to put your zipper. Most people have their zipper opening to the left, where it goes left to right. However, if it's for somebody that's left-handed, I love that too. Lavender and twine, vinyl and rivets to encase a raw edge on the tail. Really? I've never heard of that. I'll have to go back and look at that, Jamie. I agree. The stitch squares can also turn out wonky. I just don't think they just don't look as classy too. So anyway, she wants you to mark 1 inch on one side and a larger measurement on the other side. Now, when you go to mark it on the back, you're going to mark them opposite. The 1 inch will be on the other side, the right side, and the larger measurement will be on the left side. I'm not supposed to be giving you measurements because she was very specific, and I totally agree. She wants everybody to buy the pattern, which makes total and complete sense. So I promised her I would not give a lot of, I'm dropping it all. I dropped something else and I don't know what it was. Do that seal out, so it'll be fine. Hemostat for the win. I have actually never done that until I found them. I said, you know what, let me try them. And I really like them. The other thing I tried recently that I really like are my duckbill scissors, because that pattern we made from Ora Rosa asked you to do a lot of cutting down only one side of a seam. So like either the top layer or the inside layer, and the duckbill scissors, that's what they're designed for. So it was awesome. Okay, so then I'm going to take my one. She said she has you trim off your zipper tape. I'm not going to do that right now because I want to make sure that it's that I don't lose my fold and my stitches. So I'm going to stitch it in first, and then I'm going to take off. I'll cut off the extra. You're going to line it up with that first mark Oh, I know. When I found that out, I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I mean, I learn something new every day. Oh, hold on a second, guys. I'm out of battery and I don't want us to die. That would not be a good thing. Just give me a second. I gotta connect the one charger. Really? I thought I had you. Oh, it's right here. Okay. On the other side. Here you go, aren't you? Okay. Let me connect my phone while I'm at it because I don't know where it's at. There we go. Okay. We're back. All right. So, I sew on my zipper first before I cut off that tail because I just don't want to. It is charging, isn't it? I've got it plugged in, so it should be charging. If I lose you, it means that my battery's not charging, so I would definitely apologize, and if I lose you, we'll finish up on Wednesday, but we'll see. Hopefully it's charging now and we're good. And then you're going to stop stitching at that second line, the line that you made on the other end. And so what I've done is I put one on the outside of that line, so I know I'm going to stitch right up to that clip. And I'm doing a 3/8 inch seam, and the trick to a straight zipper, from what I've been told, and I don't know if this is true or not, this is what Tara's told me, is to make sure you use a 3/8 inch seam. So I do. I also make sure my zipper doesn't have a lot of give to it. So I want to pull it, but I'm not pulling it tight. I'm just holding it down. Hold on, I'm thinking. I wanted to do this face down. Give me a second. I'm not sewing on a lining this way because it's a drop-in lining. Ha ha ha, good thing I caught that. Face down, zipper face down, zipper face down. Okay, fix that. Okay, because yes, I've got to turn it. So that is correct. I got to top stitch it in a minute. All right, so yes, face down, your zipper should be, your zipper and your top panel should be right sides together with the zipper teeth down, not up. If you do something where you're going to flip the lining, attach the lining and flip it and do it, and then run your top stitch, then you would do it the other way. But this one is face down because you are doing a drop-in lining on this particular pattern. That's in. And I can flip it over, but I am not going to top stitch it yet. Okay. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to get rid of that extra zipper. And what I did just now ruined my 90 degrees because that's what I was afraid of. So hold on. I've got to put that back in there real quick as soon as I melt this again. Right. Let's fix that. Use nuts to the rescue. Yeah. Couple of things, Martha. To get a straight zipper, one, you want to make sure you're using a 3/8 inch seam allowance. And Tara told me that. And I have noticed a difference since I started being very careful about that. The other thing I do is also when I'm sewing it, I'm very careful to make sure that there's no give in my zipper. I want to pull it. I don't want to pull on it hard, but I want to make sure it's taut all the way down. So as I am pulling off my clips, I'm holding it down with my finger and making sure that there's not a lot of, it's not loose. So I might end up with a little, I might end up having to pull my zipper down or having extra zipper at the end if I put it on too loose. So I'm gonna be very careful when I put on my zipper and just make sure it's taut all the way down because otherwise you do get a wavy zipper. And then you'll check it and make sure that it looks good. Now you're gonna take this other zipper end off, the other zipper half off, put the top aside, get your back, and check your marks. Remember, the left side is now going to be the longer measurement and the right side is going to be the shorter measurement. And that's in your pattern. She gives you the exact measurements, but it's important that they're opposite of what they were before. And I just mark in the seam allowance so that it's there, so that it's going to be covered. Just put a little dot on there. And then now my zipper is going to go the opposite direction from what it was before. It is now my 90-degree angle is going to be on the right side and my straight end is going to go on the left side this time. It's going to be exactly backwards. Okay. You want that because when you put them together, you want them to make sure they're going to be opposite, and you want to make sure that they're the same side when you are done, when you sew your pieces together. So you want the short ends on the same side, which means they have to be opposite when you're sewing them on. I know it sounds a little weird, but it is right. It does help, and she recommends using tape on the zipper. For those of you that are that prefer to use tape, absolutely. I just don't like to use it on my zipper because I tend to, if you put it right on the edge, you shouldn't see it, but I don't like to use 1/8 inch. I like to use the smallest one. I like to use a 1/4 inch because my fingers don't do well with real small stuff sometimes. And so when I do that, I sometimes get it in my seam. Yes, it does work. You're absolutely right, Jamie. Okay, so now I'm going to start at that longer mark on this side because I don't like to, I like to sew on that side of my foot where my my plate is. I could do it the other way, but I like to be able to see my plate. And I'm going to sew it at 3/8 of an inch. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Yep, precisely. Okay. And if I seem like I'm talking crazy, please just let me know, because I know sometimes it's late in the evening, my words don't want to come out right. And that, unfortunately, is part of my autoimmune diseases. So. And remember, you're sewing your zipper on teeth down, not up. Teeth down, not up. Now, before you go any further, we want to make sure that our pieces and our zippers match up properly. So we're going to take it, we're going to put them together the way they should go, and make sure that they are in the right spot. And you can see that they are. I have the zipper here and the zipper here, and everything's going to match up properly. Once I flip it, my zippers will be on the inside and they'll be fine, okay? So now, I believe the next step is to put the outside together. Oh, you're running out of battery too, huh? All right, hold on. Where are you at? You're right here. All right, we're good. And I believe the next step is to put everything together for the outside. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so in the pattern, she says to, oh, she wants you now to put on your zipper pull just to make sure it is going to, that everything matches up. And that's a really good idea. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to grab my zipper pull. I'm going to hold this down and I'm going to put them on this way. I do sometimes use a zipper jig. Sometimes I don't. Depends on the zipper. So. This one kind of, I think, is going to go on okay. Let's see if I can get my fingers to hold it. There we go. Voila. And it matches up just fine. Once I turn that down, it'll be perfect. Yep. So I'm good. My zipper's fine. Okay, so then she says, check to make sure it lines up. And then take it off. So I did. Okay. So now she also wants you to, on the next step, you're going to try and, you're going to make that zipper go down. Okay. You're eventually going to, I believe, put it in the seam, but I haven't gotten that far yet because when we actually put the bag together, I have a feeling it's going to go in the seam, but we'll find out next week. Okay, so now I'm going to put these two together, and I'm going to match them up, and I'm going to actually start at the bottom, matching my darts and my bottom center. Okay, I like to put my seams one on one side and one on the other side. I want to make sure that center is perfectly lined up, not just at the very bottom, but I want to feel it to make sure it's lined up about 3/8 of an inch up too, because it's easy for it to get off. And if it does, where you sew it is not what it's showing right now. So you got to be real careful, because if you don't, you're going to have your seams off, especially on these darts too. So keep that in mind. One seam goes one way. I didn't trim this one. Hold on. One seam goes the other way. And there we go. And you want to make sure that when you hold them, and you can feel that seams match up 3/8 of an inch up. If not, you want to try and fix that if you can. My seams are fine. And everything looks really good, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to put a couple clips on the sides too. She wants you to sew. 3/8 inch seam allowance, and you're going from the top all the way around. So do not sew these in the tails in. You're going to tuck those for right now. So be careful not to get those in. And there's no side seam, as you can see right here, to match with. So you're okay there. It's just the darts and the center seam at the bottom. So you don't have anything on the sides that you have to match. Just match your sides so you can sew. Haunted by zippers. Martha, me too. I swear, had I not talked to Tara about it while at the expo, I have trouble with wonky zippers. I used to have trouble with really wonky zippers. And when she gave me that, it's gotten much better. So that and keeping it tight a little bit helps, or taut, not tight, but taut, helps a lot. So, and now I'm going to sew 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, being careful not to catch the zipper in that seam allowance. Hold my threads. Oh, the zipper tail. I didn't catch it, did I? No, okay. And when you sew over those seams, make sure you hold on to them so that they don't let's see. Oh, Pat, read back. Jamie was just saying that she uses double-sided tape to keep her zipper stable while she's getting ready to sew so it doesn't shift. And I think that's a great idea. It's actually recommended in this pattern. Okay. Okay, and now I believe, let's see, we are gonna trim down the seam allowance starting a little bit down. She gives you the exact measurement in the pattern. And So I'm taking off my seam allowance a little bit so it's not so bulky at the bottom. And I'm going to not do a little bit at the top of each side. Okay. And then I think I can flip it. Yes. Yes, now I can turn it right side out, and then we're going to do the strap connectors. So let's turn it right side out and see how she looks. Hopefully she looks as good as I think she's going to look. And this will be the hardest part of the turning because the other part we're not turning. The other part we are, it's going to be a drop-in lining, so it'll be really easy because we don't have to turn it. When I started sewing bags, I had never heard of a drop-in lining, and then I did one and didn't like it, and then I did this other one the other day, and I love it. So, I love it. Okay, so this is what the bottom looks like. Okay, which way to go? Here we go. Okay, so you can see my seams matched up perfectly. I'm very proud of that. And again here also, and here also. Okay, so that's the outside of your bag until we put on the strap connectors, which is what I'm going to do right now. And then I think I might stop for this evening, and we'll do the inside on Wednesday. But let me find the strap connector. Oh, that was good. That was one of these. I know I have two of them here someplace. Oh no, it was a strap connector I was missing. I'll show you one strap connector, and then we'll call it quits for this evening because I'm going to have to make another one, and I'll have that on and ready for tomorrow. I'll put the first one on, and then I'll have the other one ready for Wednesday. Let's see. You want to, when you're doing your strap connectors, I did mine at 2 inches. Now, that's not what the pattern calls for. I'm doing mine at 2 inches because I'm using 1-inch hardware. Okay, so be aware of that. You're going to draw a line down the middle. Know what size hardware you're going to use before you cut your strap connectors out. That makes a big difference. You don't want to waste fabric or vinyl or anything. Not at today's prices. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to take off the paper backing, and I'm going to fold in both sides. Now this time you don't want a gap. You want to meet in the middle because you are going to leave that side will be visible if somebody starts looking at it really closely. So you want to meet them in the middle. Okay. And I'll show you what it should look like. Okay, I've got a gap on that, so I'm going to fix that. Still got a gap. There we go. Okay. So you want them to meet in the middle like that, okay? You don't want to have that gap in the middle. And then you're just going to stitch an 1/8 inch here and an 1/8 inch here. You just top stitch them. And then I'm using D-rings, which I'll get out in just a second. I think the pattern calls for O-rings, but I'm not sure. I have to look still. I didn't have any O-rings that I wanted to use that were small enough. This pattern is too big for a 2.5, or too small for a 2.5 inch O-ring, and that's what I have on hand. So. There's that. There's that. My D-rings, and we'll put this one on. And if I can find them. O-rings. D-rings. Oh, that's heavy. I'm using silver, right? Yeah. Silver and silver. Fat silver and fat silver. That works. Okay, so now I'm going to thread it on, and I believe I've got to put one in a specific place. Ah, they're going there. Okay, so you want this. When the first bag I ever made, I'm like, why do I want to sew them like this? Because it didn't make sense to me. I'm putting a clip on, and then I'm going to center it right here on the end seam of my bag, okay? You can use your center line that you drew where they meet. You can see it. You can use that as a guide, and she's saying to match them up. I always put them up just a little bit because you want to give them a little bit of extra room to not fall out. I like to sew over them, and I like to make sure that they're going to be nice and tight in there. Plus, I'm probably going to put a rivet in here when we're all done. Okay, so I'm going to put it up just a bit, if I can, with these little clips, and I'm going to stitch that on, and I'm going to do a 1/4 of an inch, and I'm also going to do like 3/8 of an inch, okay? Because I don't want those to come out. That's a personal preference as to, I think she says 1/4 of an inch, okay? And if you don't do 3/8 of an inch, that's fine. Oops, where's my thread? It came out again. But if you're only doing 1/4 of an inch, make sure you backstitch real good because you don't want these coming out. And I'm trying to see if she's not telling us to put rivets in, so at least not yet. So we'll see. And again, this is another thing that I would always like to adjust on the pattern if I can find a way to do it. But I haven't completed this pattern. I apologize. I should have, but I didn't get it done. So you also, if you look at your D-ring that you're putting in, your strap connector that you put in, the one that is the side that's going to show is the side that is going to be closest to the bag when you turn it, okay? So, because it's going to go here, and it's going to flip up and be inside. So that's the side that's going to be on the outside, okay? So if there's a better side to your tab, to your strap connector, then one side is better than the other, then keep that one closest to the bag. Also, you could use a little bit of double-sided tape on the edge right there to hold it in if you feel like you need to. But you do want these to go on straight. That's very important. The other thing to be careful of is if you're doing a lot of back stitching, even there, and depending on what kind of a fabric you're using, you don't want to ruin your fabric either, because your vinyl will perforate if you put it in too much. So keep that in mind. if you sew it too much. So I'm sewing two different seams, but right next to each other. And I'll show you what I did. Okay, so if you can see it here, I have one seam, which is a quarter of an inch, and then I have another seam right underneath of that. Okay, so that way my vinyl is not going to perforate and my cork's not going to perforate. And then I will put the other one on and have it ready for Wednesday. Does anybody have any questions? Because I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. I did not put on my tag. I thought about it. I'm going to put my tag on this one on the lining because I don't have any blue tags. And I like to match my tag color to my outside vinyl if I'm going to put it on the outside. So it's going to go on the lining this time. Anybody have any questions or thoughts for this evening? I want to thank you guys all for joining me tonight. It's been fun. I hope you guys had a good time. I'm turning off my machine so I don't accidentally press the pedal. No, you're all good? Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. We'll finish it up on Wednesday. If you can't join us on Wednesday, you can watch the rest of it on replay. And I am really glad you joined me, and I will talk to you. This should be on the YouTube to rewatch or send people to, and we'll be ready to go on Wednesday night. We'll be able to put the lining in and be done. Thank you guys. See you later. Let me click over so you can see my face one more time. You there? All right. Have a wonderful evening, guys, and I will talk to you soon. I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye. Okay. Awesome. Oof, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Need to do this. I'll post it in a little while. Okay, so now I can go. Let me close this. Let me... Am I still